Yeah, I can't wrap my head around the fact that these things are even real. Shoebill birds, whatever they're called, they're straight up dinosaurs, and no one can convince me otherwise. Yo, what is up my good people, and welcome back for a brand new video. Alright, and in this video today, we're going to be watching some of the most bizarre and creepiest TikToks. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for your boy.
Have you heard of the mystery of the Loretto Chapel? So they were building this chapel in New Mexico, and the French architect who was building this chapel, he all of a sudden died in 1878, and he did not complete the staircase to the choir loft. And so the sisters of the Loretto Chapel, they pray for 9 days to Saint Joseph that someone is sent to build these stairs so the chapel can be complete. At the end of the 9 days of prayer, this man comes in from across the desert, this old man with his big gray long beard, riding a donkey, walks into the church, and he says, "I was sent here to build stairs."
Stop it!
He built these stairs in 3 months and just dipped.
What?
They left, and the sisters like, well, we didn't pay him. Wow. Sisters went to the lumber yard and said, basically like, do we owe you anything? They said, this man never came and got wood from us. There's not a single nail used on this staircase.
What?
That is... Listen, and then the curator of this chapel, he brought in over 120 experts in making spiral staircases. They said, we don't know how to do that.
Wow.
These sisters believe that Joseph himself came and like built the staircase.
Another interesting fact though is they say they can't figure out where the wood came from because apparently it doesn't trace back to any tree found on Earth. Yeah, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I remember hearing something like that.
Deja vu is a really interesting phenomenon because it was first referred to as false memory in 400 AD, and that's exactly what it feels like. This glitch in the brain that comes from the collision of two different streams of awareness makes you feel like you've already seen this before. Now, some theoretical physicists will argue that deja vu is a sign that parallel universes exist, and deja vu happens when two of those universes are in sync for a short moment, which would be really cool, but if it's not that, then it could also be when one side of your brain receives information slightly before the other, so as one side is finished processing, the other is just starting, causing you to feel like you've already experienced something while you're currently experiencing it. Similarly, it could just be bad admin, because as you move through life, what you experience gets stored in short-term memory and eventually moves over into long-term memory. But sometimes your brain misses a step and logs your current experience right into the long-term memory bank, making you perceive the present as the past.
Yeah, I believe in deja vu and all, but at the same time, it's always been one thing that's made me like very curious, but I feel like you can't just explain it away so easily like that. I've had dreams about events that seem meaningless, but then those exact same events happen like years later. So how do you explain that?
So this is what we call mobbing. Everyone here is identifying and telling everyone there's a predator. Yes, that's you, Wednesday. You are the predator. Now, mobbing is a great way to identify and tell that predator, hey, we know you're here, there's no chance, and see it work.
The fresh blood around the beak is a dead giveaway. And here I was thinking the owls just minded their own business and ate worms.
Are the members of the Trump family time travelers? So Nikola Tesla died in the New York hotel. And Nikola Tesla is a famous inventor. And when he died, his room was full of all of these trunks. They were full of blueprints and important documents and paperwork. National Research Facility and the FBI were in charge of collecting all of these like paperwork and classified documents and stuff. The first person who could go in the room, who they sent to collect to do it, was John G. Trump. Donald Trump's nuclear uncle, that's what he's known as. And this man was a very highly respected, well-educated, smart man. He was an electrical engineer and a physicist. And the really suspicious part is he got there and he was like, you guys said there were 80 trucks, I only found 30 trunks. You only found 30 trunks? What happened to those other trunks? Now Tesla had said that he had figured out how to bend time, how to time travel. So the theory is that John took these other trunks and like went through his research and figured out time travel and did it. This book came out in 1896 called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. The book was about Baron Trump time traveling.
There's something super freaky going on with fish right now that scientists cannot figure out. Back in November of 2023, scuba divers started noticing that a bunch of fish were doing behaviors they had never seen before, spinning and spinning and spinning, acting off balance, just spinning themselves literally to death. And then around January, a lot of these fish started washing up unalived in the shores of the Florida Keys, including an alarming amount of these endangered fish, the small-toothed sawfish. People keep getting this on film, and they are doing so much to investigate this problem, and they've ruled out a bunch of stuff, and they can't figure out what it is yet. They've actually been trying to get a $2 million budget approved in order to study this even further. They've been taking samples from the water and testing it for parasites. They've been testing different algae that they think could be the culprit. They've looked at the water temperature, everything, but they still haven't figured it out. And what's even crazier is that on my FYP today, this is what got me down this rabbit hole, okay? There was a TikTok user posting their betta fish that was living in their home doing this, and she's wondering what's wrong with her fish. So now not only is this happening in the ocean and the Florida Keys, this is affecting pets at people's homes. And unfortunately, it's not just happening in the Keys anymore either. They've spotted this as far north as Miami. Scientists will be continuing to study this situation and hopefully get a handle on it, but for now, it's really freaky. What is going on with the fish?
I have no clue what's going on with the fish here, but I honestly feel like it has something to do with the poles shifting, our magnetic fields fluctuating and all that, but that's just a wild guess.
Why is it everyone's nightly routine to close their blinds when living in the Appalachian Mountains? It's because when you think of the Appalachian Mountains, you think of skinwalkers. The skinwalker is a harmful witch that is able to use the hide of an animal that they've unalived and transform into it. There's also tons of screaming that happen in the Appalachian Mountains at night, which sounds crazy, I know. Some people think it's coyotes, other people think it's skinwalkers. But Chris, why would a skinwalker be screaming in the woods? Because they want to lure you there, that's what they do. They're able to mask their voice, trying to sound like somebody you may know, luring you into the woods to pretend that they're hurt. Sometimes they even act like a stranger. You'll just be driving down the road and all of a sudden hear someone yell for help. You get out of your car to help, and then you're cooked. Now, if I lived in the Appalachian Mountains, I'd be closing the blinds during the day, not just at night, but for sure especially at night, because imagine looking out your window and seeing something that you shouldn't. Now, yes, saying the term skinwalker of course brings them closer to you, but imagine seeing something that you're not supposed to and then it comes to your window. There's stories online of people discussing that they went camping in the Appalachian Mountains in a cabin and all of a sudden some random person came to their door, but they weren't a person. Me personally, the Appalachian Mountains are completely off my list, but that's why everyone who lives in the Appalachian Mountains closes and locks all of their windows and doors at night.
Yeah, I think most of us close our blinds at night. It's kind of a normal thing. And thankfully, I've never encountered a skinwalker, and I'm just praying that I never do.
In case you weren't convinced that we live in a matrix, there are CIA documents that tell you how to contact people telepathically, heal parts of your body using your mind, and remember forgotten memories. And all of the instructions for these live in a document that was declassified in 2003 called the Gateway Intermediate Workbook. In the late 70s and early 80s, the CIA was super interested in studying the psychic abilities of the mind. This document is wild. Look at this. To reduce pain signals. I'll move so you can pause this to read it if you want to. But what is this? Repeat the number 55515. There are diagrams instructing you how to exhale stale, used up energy out of your feet, how to perceive distant events and people, remote viewing. Again, I'll move so you can pause to read this if you want to. But the most interesting thing in all of this is that every single exercise starts with an affirmation. And the affirmation essentially states that we are more than our physical body, contrary to popular belief. Not only that, but the affirmation also asks non-physical entities for their protection. This document was part of the Gateway experiments. I put the link of that in my bio if you want to read the full document. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is there more to this, or was this a waste of resources? And follow for more like this.
How do we even know that we can trust these documents in the first place? That's my question. Like, come on now, you really think the people that control this world wouldn't have control over the information that gets leaked out? Yeah, my best advice is do not trust information that gets leaked out by the government. The problem with me and my anxiety is, like, I wouldn't even know how to handle that situation. I'd probably be the one in the back, like, laughing, trying my best to avoid having a panic attack.
Can you explain what is this again?
Yeah, so it's a full robotic arm. Like there's an AI chip in here, and then this like attaches to like the remainder of my arm. It's almost like a socket. It slides on. Wow. And then there's sensors and stuff in here that reads the signals and nerves in my arm that the surgeons remapped. So like me thinking about opening and closing, like I'm using the same like nerves and stuff.
Oh, all right. I thought I lost you.
Wow.
You ready to check out? Or
Yes.
Yeah. And then same thing, elbow going up, elbow going down. That's all the same nerves. Like when I'm thinking about elbow up.
I mean, that's amazing. AI is amazing,
hands
bro.
Open and closed. And then I had on the company that built it for me. Like I told them, like I wanted it to look like straight up like robotic cyberpunk. Like I didn't want the silicone skin or any of that stuff. Like I wanted it because I thought it looked tough. So
I appreciate that,
yeah,
man.
man.
Let me just take a little closer. Yeah, man.
These things exist, man.
They exist.
Yeah, this man has to have some amazing insurance to be able to afford a robotic arm. Got this man over here looking like Jax from Mortal Kombat. But who am I to knock it? If it helps him get through life and he enjoys it, hey, I'm all for it.
Boy, these animal DLCs is getting out of hand. I gotta tell you, because I'm not even exaggerating when I say I have never laid eyes on this creature in my entire life. And I've been around for a little minute. This is called a binturong. A binturong. This is also known as the bear cat. It's native to Southeast Asia, that checks out why I haven't seen one. But it's like, I've never seen a picture. I've never seen it in a movie or film or documentary. I've never heard anybody talk about it. I don't know what it takes to become this unpopular of an animal species where you can live 30 plus years and never even hear a whisper. It's a bear cat and I've never heard of it.
You know what I find fascinating is the fact that there's still animals out there that I've never heard of. And this TikTok right here just proved it.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen this shit? That's a big one. Oh, you haven't seen this. This is crazy, dude. Oh, you hear it? Listen. Shh. Yeah, you can hear it. Holy cow. Whoa. That's crazy.
Glad you guys aren't on the edge right now.
Oh, that is a real eruption. Check that out.
If it was me, I would be getting a lot farther back than that. It's wild how these people are experiencing one of the most rarest things in nature, but yet they just can't stop themselves from talking.
All right, so this is the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies in Mississippi, right? And one day the trainers there got this bright idea to train the dolphins to clean their own tanks. One day, Kelly the dolphin realized that it didn't matter the size of the trash that she brought the trainers, they would still only give her one fish. This is when Kelly began ripping the trash into multiple pieces in order to get multiple fish out of the trainer. And that's just the beginning. One day a bird falls into the tank, right? And Kelly's like, that's never happened. Let me bring it to the trainers and see where this goes. So she brings it to the trainers and they proceed to give her more fish than she's ever gotten in her entire life. Once Kelly learned that giving the trainers a bird gave her more fish than giving them trash did, she started saving some of her extra fish in order to hunt birds. Yeah, next time she was fed, instead of eating that last fish, she hid it under a rock. And then when no trainers were around, she used it to lure gulls. But what really makes Kelly a real one is the fact that after she mastered this lucrative strategy, she then began to teach the other dolphins how to do it too. She said, there's enough fish out here for everybody. So are you really going to sit here and tell me that this dolphin isn't smarter than some of the human beings that you've come across?
Man, I feel like scientists will never know how smart dolphins actually really are, because the dolphins that are really smart know how to stay the hell away from us humans.
Did you know there's a shadowy corner of history where the lines between science and the supernatural blur? Picture this, the 1930s, a time of intense fascination with the occult and the unexplained. Enter the enigmatic world of remote viewing and Rh-negative blood. Rumors swirl that in Germany, amidst the turmoil of a nation on the brink, secretive experiments were conducted. The subjects, individuals with the rare Rh-negative blood type, believed to possess extraordinary psychic abilities. Imagine being chosen, not for your strength or intelligence, but for the unique properties of your blood, diving into the depths of remote viewing, a technique said to allow the mind to see distant locations and events. But why Rh negatives What was it about their blood that made them the prime candidates for these experiments? Some say it was their heightened psychic sensitivity, a natural predisposition to transcend the physical realm. As the world watched Germany for political reasons, beneath the surface, a different kind of power struggle was unfolding, one that sought to unlock the human mind's full potential, dive into the mystery, the intrigue, and the shadowy experiments that sought to bridge the gap between science and the psychic. What secrets did they uncover? The answers might just lie in the untold history of remote viewing and art.
I swear, you guys, each day that goes by, I feel more and more like we're just living in a Twilight Zone.
The internet is absolutely furious at what Walmart did this month, and I am too. Some Walmart locations are now charging $13 per month or $98 per year if you want to use the self-checkout lines. You know, these things where you go to play Cashier Simulator on your Walmart trips? Well, Walmart is getting rid of a lot of them and only leaving some open for the Walmart Plus subscription members. Which means if you don't want to pay for self-checkout, you're going to have to wait in these lines again, but we all know that Walmart doesn't actually have cashiers anymore. Because every time you go to Walmart, it looks like this. Nobody's at the cash registers, ever. They're just all standing around the self-checkouts, but now you have to pay to use those. So, hopefully they start bringing cashiers back. And they say they're doing this to combat shoplifting because apparently some people scan cheap products to buy expensive products cheaper. And they also said they're going to start bringing in more police officers and having even more people stand around the self-checkout lines in order to combat shoplifters. But I know one thing's for sure, I should be getting paid to do self-checkout. Like, you're putting me to work, so I'm not paying to use it. And if these lines are too long, I'm going to Kroger. Like, I'm done with Walmart. But those are just my thoughts, because I'm not paying 98 bucks a year to scan some items. It's not happening. Not here.
I feel like a simple fix to this would just be to not shop at Walmart anymore. Voila, problem solved. But yeah, it's crazy. Walmart out here making people pay just to be able to pay for groceries.
So you see her hands go above her face once. Watch when they come back down.
I wanted to post screenshots of the AI filter coming off so people could see for a bit longer just how insane this is.
Watch her face glitch. Now watch her back tattoo disappear.
Did you know that on April 8th, 2024, during the total solar eclipse, a unique celestial spectacle will be visible? This isn't just any celestial event, but the rare appearance of the Devils Comet. This intriguing comet, discovered way back in 1812, will emerge from the shadows, gracing our skies during this total solar eclipse. Its path will take it near the Sun, traversing the constellations Andromeda and Pisces, making this a truly celestial ballet. With an orbital period of approximately 71 years, these visits are few and far between. Around mid-March, it will be closest to the Sun in the constellation Aries, and will then head into Taurus, passing near Jupiter mid-April. This comet will be approximately 27 degrees from the Sun and close to bright Jupiter during the eclipse. So, what exactly is this Devil's Comet, and why is it making such a grand appearance? Discovered in 1812, the Devil's Comet, also known as Comet Pons-Brooks, is a Halley-type short-period comet. With an orbital period of approximately 71 years.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or not. I haven't looked into it, but I haven't heard anything about the Devil's Comet. But what about you guys?
Where are you going there? It's one of those circumstances where you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, or know when to use your bear spray. You know, our first line of defense is to really kind of assess their body language, what their intentions are, and then if they become aggressive, then you would use this pepper spray. And I would definitely use it at this distance. Spray her. I see now this is actually Grandma. Spray her from this distance if she was going to be aggressive. But right now she's just kind of just looking around, assessing the playing field. giving us little glances. But she's being cool. Just gonna sit down right here and
Yeah, being out there in that wild, you never know what you're going to come across, but luckily for this man, it seems like he came across the sweetest bear in the world.
So a few days ago, I showed you all the clip of Jake Paul getting literally possessed right before his fight. Recently, Jake Paul was on Aiden Ross's stream, and Ryan Garcia called in to talk to Jake Paul about the Mike Tyson fight. Listen to what he says, and I want you guys to listen with your spiritual ears.
You think Mike will beat me? Bro, honestly, I don't really doubt you too much because I know you have the mentality as I do, bro, and I know that you've tapped into something that I know what you're tapping into, so it's like hard for me to go against you. I just think Mike is like a whole different animal, bro.
I have no clue what Jake Paul was just doing there. I mean, typically a fighter will like say a prayer or like meditate before a fight, but yeah, this right here is just not normal. Alright people, that's going to be a wrap for this video, but hey, this has been fun and I really hope you guys enjoyed this content, and if you did, don't forget to show me some love and just hit that like button down there. And one last thing before I go, you guys, but don't be a stranger and let me know all your thoughts about this one down there in that comment section.